to value future you as much as current you. It's like, yeah, you're human and you don't respect yourself because you have no self-discipline. Can't build a roof without a foundation, and that foundation is discipline. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that's been on my mind for quite a while now, and it's about self-discipline, self-respect and self-love and how they're all connected. I think this is something we don't talk about enough. Like, we all want self-love, right? And we want to wake up in the mirror and be like, I'm that bitch, I love myself, I'm confident. But how the fuck are you supposed to love yourself when you can't even trust yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I genuinely think a lot of people, including me, don't actually love themselves. And I'm not saying this to sound harsh or be negative or whatever. I think the reason we don't love ourselves is because we don't respect ourselves. And we don't respect ourselves because we have no self-discipline. And okay, let me explain what I mean by that, because I think we get self-discipline wrong. Self-discipline isn't about being rigid or extreme. It's actually really simple. It's basically just doing what you said you were going to do, and that's it. And here's the thing I've been learning, and I'm still learning this because I'm not perfect at all, but self-discipline is actually self-respect. Like, they're the same thing, because when you do what you said you were going to do, you're telling yourself, I matter, my words matter, I'm worth following through for, and you're building that trust with yourself, because you can't respect someone you don't trust. And think about it like this. Let's say you've got this friend, and this friend is constantly late. They say they'll be here for 8, but they don't turn up till 10, or they say they'll help you move and they cancel last minute. Would you trust that friend and respect them? Probably not. You'd probably stop being friends with them, and because they're unreliable, they're not trustworthy. But we do this to ourselves constantly, and that's the crazy part. I don't think we even realize that we're doing it. You literally can't love someone you don't respect. I don't think it works. Like, you can say your affirmations all day long in the mirror and be like, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm beautiful, I'm strong. But if your actions are showing you the opposite, your brain's literally not going to believe it, and your subconscious knows what's really going on. You can feel confident, you can feel attractive, you can feel capable, and still not respect yourself. Because here's where we get it twisted. I think we have this idea that self-love is just accepting ourselves as we are. Like, love yourself no matter what. And we always use that as an excuse to not hold ourselves accountable. Like, I'll skip the gym and I'll say, oh, self-love means resting, or I'll eat an entire pizza and say, oh, I'm just trying not to restrict myself. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes you just need the rest. Sometimes you should just eat the pizza. But let's be for real, a lot of the times we're actually bullshitting ourselves. We're not resting, we're just avoiding, and we're not treating ourselves, we're just using the food to numb out. And I also think we're trying to build self-love like it's the starting point. Like, if I just tell myself I'm worthy enough times, everything will fall into place. But think of self-love like the roof. You can't build a roof without a foundation. And that foundation is discipline. It's the boring shit. It's the things nobody wants to do. And it's the things you do when no one's watching. Self-respect is the structure that forms that. And self-love is what sits on top of it. So when you try and skip the foundation, everything feels unstable. You might feel good for a moment, but that doesn't last, because nothing is holding it up. So that's why so many people say they love themselves, but the second things get hard, it all collapses, because love without discipline isn't grounded, it's fragile. And real self-love is actually holding yourself to a standard. It's expecting more from yourself because you know you're capable of more. It's not letting yourself off the hook. It's not being like, oh, well, I'm human, I make mistakes, it's fine. It's like, yeah, you're human, but being human doesn't mean being a bloody pushover to yourself, because loving yourself sounds soft. It sounds comforting. It sounds like candles and affirmations and romanticizing your life. And discipline doesn't sound anything like that. Discipline sounds so boring. It sounds uncomfortable. It sounds like doing things you don't want to, even when you don't feel like it. And that's why people avoid it. But here's what nobody's going to tell you. Real self-love is making yourself do the hard things because you care about future you. And that requires discipline. That requires you to value future you as much as current you. And if you don't respect yourself and you don't give a fuck about future you, you only care about right now and what feels good right now. And I realize this pattern shows up in really small moments. There's split seconds where you know exactly what you should do. You should speak up, you should say no, you should set a boundary, but you don't. Not because you don't know any better, but because staying feels comfortable and easier in the moment. And what hurts isn't the situation, it's that you tell yourself afterwards when things get uncomfortable that you can't rely on you. And here's where self-respect starts to erode. I think a lot of people are stuck in the same pattern. You know what you need to do and you don't do it, and then you wonder why you don't feel good about yourself. It's because you don't respect yourself, and you don't respect yourself because you have no self-discipline. And I know it sounds harsh, but sometimes we just need to hear the harsh things because someone just needs to say it plainly and simply and just not sugarcoat it. But here's what I've realized. A lot of people say they don't love themselves, and I don't think that's actually the real problem. I think the real problem is that they don't respect themselves, because self-respect is internal. Like, nobody can give that to you, and this shows up everywhere in your life, like not just with your goals or habits, because I've been in situations and relationships where I knew something wasn't right. Like, it wasn't toxic or dramatic or anything like that. It was just, we were just misaligned, and I still stayed, but not because like I didn't know any better, but because leaving requires discipline. The discipline to sit with loneliness, discipline to be able to choose long-term peace over short-term comfort. And every time I told myself this is the last time, and I still stayed, I respected myself less and less, not because the other person was bad, but because I kept breaking my own promise to myself. So if you're watching this and thinking, okay, so what, how do I fix this? So you want to love yourself, right? You want to feel confident, you want to wake up in the morning and actually like who you are. Then you need to start keeping your promises to yourself. You need to start doing what you said you were going to do, not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would, because you respect yourself enough to follow through. So basically what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people, including myself, struggle with self-love because we're missing the foundation. We're trying to build a house starting with the roof, but you need that foundation first, and the foundation is self-discipline, which leads to self-respect and which leads to self-love. And it doesn't have to be some massive overnight transformation. Just start small, pick one thing, and then tomorrow do it again and again, and the next day and the next day. And I promise you, you'll start to feel different, and you'll feel more confident, more capable, more like somebody you can actually trust, more like someone you respect, and eventually someone you truly, truly, truly love. And actually, speaking of boundaries and self-respect, I read this study that showed that people's self-respect goes down when they forgive someone who didn't even apologize or try to make things right. And that makes so much sense to me, because when you let people walk all over you and you don't stand up for yourself, you're telling yourself that you don't actually matter, that you're not worth defending, and that your boundaries don't mean anything. And I've done this so many times where I've had people treat me badly and I just let it slide because I didn't want to cause drama or whatever. And every time I did that, I lost a little bit of respect for myself, because I was showing myself that I wasn't worth standing up for, that keeping the peace was more important than my dignity. So yeah, self-discipline is self-respect. And when you finally build that, when you finally become someone you can trust and rely on, that's when you'll have real self-love, the kind that doesn't go away when things get hard, the kind that's not dependent on how you look or what you've achieved, the kind that comes from like genuinely liking who you are as a person. And I think that's what we all can really do, is just keep trying, keep showing up, keep doing the hard things even when we don't want to, because we deserve it, because future us deserves it, because we're worth the effort, because you deserve to love yourself like you really do. And you have to be willing to put in the work, and the work starts with discipline. So here's something that you can actually try. It's really simple but super powerful. So look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I deserve this? Do I deserve to treat myself like this? Do I deserve to keep breaking my promises to myself? Do I deserve to let people speak to me like that? Do I deserve to feel like shit all the time because I can't follow through? And if your answer is no, then what are you going to do about it? Because you can either keep doing what you're doing, keep feeling how you're feeling, or you can start showing yourself through your actions that you're worthy of respect and that you're worthy of love and that you matter. Because here's the thing, you can feel confident, you can feel attractive, you can feel capable and still not respect yourself. Self-respect is following through on the promises you make to yourself, and the root of following through is discipline. Not discipline driven by emotions, because emotions change every 5 minutes, or by motivation, because motivation can easily dwindle, but discipline driven by values. So it's your choice, but it starts with discipline. It starts with keeping one promise to yourself, and then another, and then another, until you become someone you trust, someone you respect, someone you love. But I'll see you guys very soon, and until then, keep your promises to yourself, even the small ones, especially the small ones, and take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.